Hello, beautiful people. We are officially in Leo season. Praise Jesus. Because although I love my Cancerians out there, I don't know how y'all do it in these emotional waters 24/7. Of course, it didn't help that Mercury was also retrograde in the sign of Cancer, just bringing up old dynamics from the past that really highlighted how we feel safe, because that's what Cancer represents, is feeling at home. And with it being retrograde, it's an internal state of being. It's the question is, how can we cultivate more inner safety so that we always feel safe regardless of our surroundings, because we can't always control our environment, right? When we can, so amazing. But when we can't, we want to be able to increase our capacity to uh, be able to hold this feeling of um, being in an uncomfortable environment, but still feeling safe within. So let's dive into it. So, because we're in summer season, I'm going to go ahead and use the Wild Reflection Tarot deck. This feels very summery to me. Oh, and then of course, as I split the deck, we have the Three of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Sorry. And this already feels like stepping out of this heartbroken energy into this confident Queen of Wands energy. Look at that. Being able to fully express yourself and your creative energy. But this is going to be a reading with or for the Mercury Retrograde. It is officially over tomorrow, but the sun is officially in Leo season. So the energy shift is already happening. So let's dive in. The first card is going to be the overall energy you had, or you were carrying going into the retrograde. And then we're going to look at the challenge that appeared, what was released, what was exposed, and then the energy that now feels like home to you. So let's get into it. Thank you. Spirit, first card, Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. So you went into this retrograde feeling like you had everything you need. Nine of Pentacles. That's pretty gorgeous energy there. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Queen of Pentacles. So maybe you went into this retrograde really focused on your money, your sense of stability. This definitely feels like foreshadowing energy. And it's amazing because she's wearing a beautiful orange dress. She's surrounded by these sunflowers. Sorry, that was my dog. And she's kind of talking to these birds. So you were socializing. You felt like you were super independent. And as mentioned, oh, interesting. Then we have the Five of Cups here. So maybe the shadowy energy was, even though you were financially taken care of, you still felt an inner sense of loss. So what was the challenge here for the Mercury retrograde in Cancer? What was the challenge here? Spirit, show me clearly. Yeah, especially since we had the Nine of Cups. Okay, so a lot of cards came out. What do we have here? Temperance and the Ten of Cups. Interesting. And Strength at the bottom of the deck. Now we're in Leo season. So Temperance and Ten of Cups as the challenge. How interesting. So the challenge was to balance the shadow with the light, not rushing into anything, and really making time for this Ten of Cups, making time for what actually matters to you, what is really fulfilling to you. And with the Strength at the bottom of the deck, I feel like this took a lot of courage for you to stay balanced instead of letting these past memories of loss and grief to consume you. The challenge was to stay optimistic and to keep finding your joy and chasing your joy. Not even chasing your joy, but allowing the light and the darkness to coexist and not letting that ruin your fun. Interesting. I'll get some clarifiers, but and what was released for this Mercury retrograde? What was the energy that was being released, transmuted, really under? Ooh, the Magician. Releasing the victim mentality of feeling like nothing was in your control. Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Releasing the illusion that you don't have any choices. Because you do. It's just, it gets overwhelming to look at them all at once. So what's really standing out to me on this Magician is the snake here at the bottom, which is interesting because typically the snake is wrapped around the waist. Here it is in the forefront. So it's almost like the shadows are coming to the forefront. You're shedding skins. You're shedding an old mask, especially with the butterflies surrounding this beautiful card, and it's so vibrant. I feel like what was released was the feeling of lack, the feeling like you couldn't get what you want. Especially with the Seven of Cups, it's almost like the lesson here was to be open to receiving what you want in different ways than you would have expected to receive them. Let's keep going. What was expanded here for this Mercury retrograde? What energy has been expanded? Show me clearly, Spirit, the energy that's been expanded. This Magician card is so gorgeous. It's like you're releasing your true, authentic, raw energy, because the Magician comes right after the Fool in tarot. It is very much, there's a lot of creative potential there. A lot of creative potential. Show me clearly what expanded, please. Thank you. The Fool. Are you kidding me? We were just talking about you. And Two of Cups. Ooh. So what expanded during this retrograde was the sensation of beginning anew. What expanded was your adventurous spirit. Two of Cups, this could have to do with your higher self or a romantic partnership. Just I'm feeling more the connection with your internal self really expanded as you allowed yourself to be free again, to feel yourself again, to really tune back in with yourself, the good and the bad. Here with Temperance, it's almost like you made peace with your shadows and you let them go. What expanded was your sense of adventure, your sense of everything's going to be okay. And now, what is the new energy that feels like home? What is the energy we're carrying? Six of Swords. Moving into calmer waters. With the Seven of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. This definitely, it's the energy that feels more comfortable now is the energy of protecting your peace. The energy of being willing to take a leap into the unknown for the sake of your peace. You're no longer allowing the external chaos to marinate in your energy. You're just like, nope, this doesn't feel good. I'm going to go somewhere else. And you're really embodying this Fool energy. And then, especially with the Seven of Wands, I feel like that's typically, let me see, I feel like that's what I had pulled this morning. Yeah, it was the Seven of Wands. It's, you're protecting your peace at all costs. You're no longer allowing external things to dictate your internal reality. This is gorgeous. Now, before I clarify anything, I do want to pull an oracle deck from the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. Gorgeous, gorgeous energy, just to get overall message. I don't want this to be too long, but I definitely feel like I need to pull something from this deck. And I don't bring this deck out too often just because it feels so profound, and this cycle feels so profound. It feels like an initiation. It feels like a layer has been peeled off and you are no longer living for others, you're living for yourself. Ooh, Kin of Red-Tailed Hawk, Tawodi. That's at the bottom of the deck. I'm loving the orange. It really matches the Leo energy. I'm going to set that right there. We have beautiful place. Yeah, you're creating your own beautiful place, internally and externally. During the retrograde, you were working on it internally, and now in Leo season, the season of creativity, you're able to create it and manifest it externally. It had to start within first. You had to really be sure of what feels safe, what feels like home, what feels beautiful, what feels relaxing, what feels delicious. I love this energy. And it's almost with this child here, you're really creating a safe space for your inner child. You're really protecting the boundaries of your inner child, the wild person inside of you, the even your ego. You're creating an ecosystem for all these different parts of you to really feel safe in. Circle Cross of Tenon, a rare intersection of heaven and earth. Whew, and then there's the hawk again. Wow. And then 5 is the number of change. I'll definitely read out of the book from here, but rare intersection of heaven and earth. You are creating heaven on earth for yourself. What does heaven on earth look like to you? Not what it looks like to other people, but what it looks like to you. You are the creator. You have the power, and you've awoken to that power. Whew. Sorry. Not sorry. And then Star of Venus. Yes. Yes. You're allowing yourself to receive. You're allowing yourself to be at ease. You're no longer throwing yourself into challenges just because you feel like you only deserve to be dragged through the mud, dragged through difficulties. Maybe in the past you've gone through lesson after lesson after lesson that you haven't been able to truly enjoy your blessings. With the Star of Venus here, you are finally taking this time to truly create a beautiful space for yourself. Whew. Wow. I'm going to let that marinate there. I'm going to set this over here, the Hierophant, wanted to poke out. Let us clarify these beautiful cards. I'm going to move this over here. I don't know if that made any difference, but let's get into it. What am I going to clarify these with? Yeah, I'm being called to use this other deck. Very light. Wow, this has been... I'm curious how everyone else has experienced this energy. How was the Mercury retrograde for you? Does this resonate? Yeah, wow. The Eight of Swords clarifying the Nine of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this right off the bat is externally, you had it all. Internally, you felt trapped. Yeah, Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So even though you seem to have it all, internally you felt poor because you weren't feeding your soul. You weren't pouring into what truly made you happy. You were maybe looking for that external validation and looking for these external things to validate your existence. Ooh, do I want another clarifier for that? Sure. Let's get one more clarifying the Eight of Swords. That's too many. Knight of Wands, King of Wands, and Five of Swords. This is definitely giving me stabbed in the back by a player energy. And maybe with the Ten of Wands here, that's what the cycle was. That's the burden that you were carrying. Interesting. I want to put these back. I'm only going to take one clarifier. Can you clarify the Temperance for me, please, Spirit? Yeah, it's like you transmuted these shadow energies, the Empress. Yes, you chose to be still and let joy and comfort come to you. Even though when you were still, you felt the shadowy energy. And yet, with the lightning bolt here in the Temperance card, right up there, it's almost like there was a wake-up call. Queen of Pentacles, a wake-up call to what truly brings you happiness. And are you following the happiness or are you following the shadows? What truly brings you stability? Let's get a clarifier for the Ten of Cups. What truly makes you happy? Let's see. And with the Temperance and the Empress, all majors. So this is very major. Lots of major arcanicas. Big, big major cycle. Temperance and the Empress. There's something else that needs to be said here, and I don't know what it is. And we have Venus there. This is clarifying the challenge. The challenge was to stay in your feminine energy. Yeah. Two of Cups. What really makes you happy is a connection. I don't know if this is a specific connection or just even reconnecting with your inner self. Coming back to who you truly are. Yeah, Nine of Wands. Maybe in the past you were judged for truly revealing yourself, and with this challenge was to say, I don't care what you think of me. I still choose me because I and only I know what makes me truly happy. Beautiful. I'm surprised how beautiful the challenge cards are, honestly. Even with the shadow energy of Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, it's not giving up on yourself, not giving up on your joy, trusting the process, because the Empress doesn't have to do much. She waves her wand and the fields of wheat grow. You trusted the process. That's what the challenge was here. Ooh, and it looks like you did it. Okay, so what was released? Let's clarify the Magician. It's interesting. The cards are being very bouncy. I feel like a lot was released here. But let us clarify the Magician. What was released here? Show me clearly, Spirit. Thank you. Ooh. So this came out inverted. We have the Two of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck, the Star. Indecision was released. It's like you took off the blindfold and you really allowed your intuition to speak to you. And that healed you. That refilled your hope. That really allowed you to stay in this energy of abundance, even if externally things weren't going the way you wanted. What was released was that you started to trust yourself again. This is gorgeous. And let's clarify the Fool for what has expanded. Page of Swords. You're becoming more curious, more observant around in your surroundings, more observant of your inner systems, of how certain situations, people, places, and things make you feel. And that in turn is helping you tap in deeper into your intuition, and also gains clarity and courage to take a leap of faith, especially here with the Queen of Swords. You're seeing things clearly through your intuition, because with the Fool, her eyes are closed. And of course, the Page of Swords is, he's got his sword up. It's almost like protecting the Fool. Your observations are protecting your inner sense of adventure, curiosity, courage. You stay observant. That's what has expanded, is your perception. This is amazing. And last but not least, energy that feels like home. 6 of Wands. Wow. I said 6 of Wands, but 6 of Swords. We have the 3 Cups. And at the bottom, 7 of Cups. The energy that feels like home is where you're celebrated. Where you're celebrated and you're not filled with confusion about who you are, your worth, your value. What feels like home is being surrounded by people who value you and know your worth. You're moving away from people who are deceptive, who take what they want, who play mental games. What feels like home now is to be celebrated. Wow. Okay, I definitely just want to read straight out of the book what the circle cross of Tenon is, because it feels very significant. Rare intersection of heaven and earth. So your plans and purpose are aligned with greater cosmic forces. Whether you see it coming or not, things will fall into place, and what you have been working towards will come to fruition. A rare intersection of heaven and earth will result in a precious manifestation of grace. The divine shall correct a situation that is in need of realignment. Fear not. Pray boldly and be faithful. All is well. Beautiful. That is exactly what this entire message was about. It's a homecoming to yourself, to what you're willing to accept into your life, and to boldly remove yourself from situations that don't meet those standards. You're choosing you. I love to see it. I hope this resonated. I'm really curious to know how this retrograde cycle manifested for you and how you're feeling. If you're feeling that Sun and Leo transition today, or how are you feeling? Let me know. I would love to know. I appreciate you. If you watched till the end, please let me know by liking and subscribing. Peace be with you.